Hello, dear friends, my lovely audiences, ladies and gentlemen, my dear fellow Californians, welcome to the East West Show. Jack Chow on the East West Show with lots of pleasure. Yes, with GNE TV, we touch base with you from all aspects. We have a beautiful county named San Bernardino, and the name of the county getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and the county itself is getting more and more beautiful. And the airport, which is Ontario Airport, getting larger and larger. It is well known. It is now ready to fly international. All these in the hands of a great man who is a friend of mine, former assemblyman, now the supervisor of San Bernardino County, Honorable Kurt Hageman.
Great to be back on, Jack.
Very good. I'm so glad that after this long absence, you're back. Mr. Hageman used to be on this show for quite often, but right now for the past few years, for the engagement for that beautiful country, which is now changing from head to toe to better, he has a little time to come here. And for that, we feel lost, but for the people of the county, we feel quite again, right? So now, before we touch base, of course, I have no suspicion about your winning the election, the re-election. Later we'll talk about it. But right now, I would like to start with your comment about the U.S.-China trade conflict at the present time.
Well, I hate to see it. I thoroughly believe in the free trade borders and try not to have tariffs or any kind of restrictions. We, the country, China and the U.S. are the two economic powerhouses of the world, and there's so much we do together that it would harm us both if we see this actually go forward. Mm-hmm. Especially for San Bernardino County in the West End, we're the logistics hub of trade, mm-hmm. And especially from China, from the ports of Long Beach and Los Angeles who bring their shipments in that stay in our warehouses to Ontario International Airport. It's also a huge shipping hub for air. And so we hope that and have confidence in President Xi and President Trump that we'll get together and make stronger ties, not weaker ties, when this is all done. And we've seen in the past the administration talk strong but make the deal. So I'm hopeful that that's the case. And I'm good to see the last couple of days that President Trump has made some overtures toward that. And we're hopeful that things don't go to a trade war, because I think that'd be detrimental for our whole entire region, and especially our partnership that we have.
Yeah, of course we understand that China and the U.S. together would do something more, at least twice bigger, right? And for them to fight each other doesn't make too much sense, especially from my point of view. I really hate anything of that area to happen, right? Now look at the situation though. Those tariff kind of a tit for tat going back and forth thing. Do you think that's really a tariff issue, or each of them just were trying to make a point?
You know, it's hard to know what other people are thinking. But we're looking at targeted tariffs on steel and aluminum right now that we don't have a lot of suppliers left or manufacturers left. We have a lot of end users of the raw materials, especially in this county we do. U.S. Steel's in here, Kaiser Steel's here. It's one of our biggest employers in the county, but they take the sheets coming from China and from Mexico, from other places, and they do other materials that go to the end users who make their manufactured goods. So obviously that brings on the prices to all the consumers when the tariffs go in. I don't necessarily, I see the logic from the administration to have a strong production base in the United States for security reasons, but really we're a global market now, so it's going to be difficult to restrict tariffs in one country but okay for the other. And I know there's over 8,000 exemptions applied. It may be, again, I don't know what's in President Trump's head or what his strategy is, but I'm hopeful that when they get together coming up, that they can work out a lot of these issues, that we don't see any more tariffs. We don't see the tit for tat on trade, because obviously China is also a big importer of our agricultural goods and other materials, as well as we're the suppliers between the two of us for a lot of the world's consumer goods.
Yeah.
So this is something that would be harmful for their world economy if it starts to escalate. And so I'm
Yeah.
hopeful they work it out.
As a matter of fact, on a day-to-day basis, what we do notice is that is the relying upon each other, right? For example, our soda cans. So 300 million people will drink at least 300 million cans of soda. So just a can per capita, right? That kind of thing. If everybody does two, and then you're talking about 600 million. Right. And then, well, with aluminum sheets or so whatsoever, it doesn't matter who you import from, you're using that much of aluminum cans, sheets, on a day-to-day basis.
Sure, and it goes into everything we do, from our cars, and you start going through all our manufactured goods, it impacts all those costs as we go forward. So a few people may gain, some jobs, but it may hurt 3 or 4 times more of those jobs for that same act. And it's a very touchy subject, and it has to be very skillfully gone through. What we are is, certain countries are good at certain things, and we have to realize in a global economy, we build on each other's strengths, and the consumer is the one that benefits. They get quality products at a cheaper price, and those goods are available for all that way. And when my constituents are clicking online buying their goods, they don't know where they're coming from, and they're looking for the better price and the better deal on it for the most part.
Just to be on the fairground, though, I don't know much about agriculture or the aluminum cans. We're talking about, for example, the car industry, right? Now China has a certain amount of tax or tariff on the car import from the United States, say 35. Right? Now, even if China does the same amount of tax, right, on U.S. cars, right, and then China will still not be able to export the amount of cars to make it, because the auto industry in China is still far, far away from the United States, right? If United States, if we have been a little friendly, well, we help them a little bit. By not doing the tariff war would be a big deal. Did you think so?
No, I think the other way is the proper way, is to sit there and try to break down the borders and try to break down the tariffs that are on it. The mainland Chinese customers are paying a lot more for their goods. Even if they're manufactured in China, they're paying more than what we pay for the same goods here. And so those tariffs are hurting their people in some ways and helping them create job opportunities as well. But that's why it's a very sticky situation, and the end users right now is the uncertainties in the market. Businesses adapt over a period of time. If they know the price of supply is going to go up, they could generally pass it down. Right now, what we're seeing with this delay another 30 days, and we're doing this and that, is the suppliers don't know what to charge and not giving quotes. And so the lack of supply coming in is also damaging too. So I hope they get together and work this out and come up with a win-win solution when it's all said and done.
All right, okay. In other words, you see more chances for working together, working it out, rather than going the worst way on and on.
I do see President Trump wants to establish stronger ties with China and to work through some of these issues. At the same time, he wants to make sure that he is fighting for American jobs, just like the president of China wants to fight for Chinese jobs. And so they both have those interests, but they're both business, astute. So hopefully they get in there and make some good deals that benefits both.
Yeah. All right, good. My dear audiences, today with me, to my pleasure and my team, is my good friend, Honorable Kurt Hageman, former Assemblyman of California, now county supervisor running for re-election, which I have no doubt about his winning. I just want to make sure he gets there for sure, taking it not for granted. So stay with us. We'll be right back. Hello, my dear friends. Welcome back to the show, Jack Chow with the East West Show with Jenny TV. Today, to my pleasure and to my team, I have Honorable Kurt Hageman, visiting me, former Assemblyman of California, and now current county supervisor of San Bernardino County, who is running for re-election, which I have no doubt about. I just want him win, not only win, I want him win big time, right? That's what all I wanted. Okay, now back to the point though. After all, whatever happens at the federal level, government by government, we're talking about a county, local county. Oh. What we do have noticed as your constituents are the changes, the quick, rapid, swift change of the big county. The streets, the houses, the business, and the airport also, right? And no wonder I can't find you for the last several years. And in the past, my call gets answered right away. Now, no way, right? Good. Which is not a bad thing, right? Good. So, what have you done ever since you took office to have produced such major changes? Please.
Well, the county's in really good shape right now. Usually, we're lagging the rest of the state in like unemployment and other things. We're actually better off than most of the state of California. Our unemployment's down to around 5%. The state average is 5.6% right now. So we have a lot of activities.
All right. Okay.
The Inland Empire, as we call San Bernardino Riverside, is actually the fastest growth area in the United States right now. So obviously we have tens of thousands of homes being built, new factories, new businesses going up everywhere. So there's a lot going on in the county. We also, as you know, the last 18 months, we took back Los Angeles Airport. Used to own and operate Ontario Airport, but we took it back from LA. So now the county and the city of Ontario jointly run that airport. So that's been a big focus for me personally as well, is getting the airport back in local control and to expand the business at that airport. And since the last 18 months, we've had several domestic carriers. We just announced JetBlue a couple weeks ago. Bringing them back home from Long Beach routes. We have Frontier that came in. Our big international addition was China Airlines, daily flights to Taiwan. And so we're doing a lot of improvements on the airport, a lot of customer experience. I myself flew on that first flight to Taiwan and came back a couple days later, and I was in and out of customs within 11 minutes with 2 checked bags. There's no delays, and you go, get right back in your car and go. So we're seeing a lot of that. You know, people are happy with Ontario. They want more flights.
On wave entering, including custom checks or whatever.
Customs and immigration.
11 minutes.
11 minutes.
That's like
there's no wait.
They're like you run in and out of a restaurant.
Yeah. So for those who fly out of Los Angeles Airport, know there's lots of traffic to get there.
1 hour and a half
Very
on
expensive.
average.
Lots of expensive parking. We have parking right across from the terminal. It's easy, and there's no delay getting back home. So that's the advantages. We're working very hard to bring more flights, especially more international flights from Asia, because that's the core around the airport. There's a lot of diverse areas. We have flights to Mexico already as well, and we're hopefully add some more destinations before the end of the year. But we're focused on bringing more passenger airlines. The cargo traffic, so we're up probably 15% over last year, and that was 15% over the year before. We're the fastest growth airport in the United States right now, and passenger count and cargo we're in the 20%. You know, we're really growing really fast on cargo as well. So we will be we are already one of the top 15 destinations for cargo in the United States, but we're going to be even higher than that before
so
too long.
You know, now you have direct flight for cargo from here to Taiwan.
And China. We have cargo to China as well.
And to China, to Beijing?
I'm not sure where they fly into, but right now they're in partnership up with UPS, and they have flights. I think they do come out of Beijing as one of their hubs.
I was driving the other day, 2 days ago, and passing by the airport, I see lots of FedEx.
Yep, we have FedEx, we have UPS.
FedEx, right?
Yes, we're in negotiations to expand their facility, to build a facility for DHL. Prime Airlines, which is Amazon, is already coming in 8 to 10 flights a day right now. They're looking at expansion. We've been talking with China Post and others to see what other cargo hubs we could do there. So a lot of future expansion for the airport. It's been really an unpolished gem for 30, 40 years.
The homecoming of the Ontario airport makes a lot of sense because it means a lot of income revenue, right? So how big a revenue the county look at?
Well, actually,
if it is operating full.
Yeah, the direct revenue actually stays on the airport. So any money we make in the airport stays in the airport, and we lower down fees so people have cheaper tickets. Okay. The indirect economic impact could be hundreds of millions of dollars to business and to just day-to-day lives of people around the region for San Bernardino and Riverside counties. So it's a huge impact economically, and we're on the map. So people are starting to figure out Ontario, San Bernardino versus Ontario, Canada. That's the first thing we had to get over is destination. We're 35 minutes out of downtown LA, and we have a great place to fly in and out of. And as we get more and more domestic flights and more of those international flights, people have better choices out here for our expansion. And so the county's doing very well economically. We're doing the fastest growth area because we can't complain. And we're bringing a lot of changes the way we offer governance as well. We're doing a lot of virtual government. And that's one of my fortes was to try to bring technology in the way we do business. So I have things like virtual courts now, where you go see a judge who's on a TV versus
That was your thought even before you were elected.
Yeah,
remember?
So they're all enacted now. So we got a lot of things. I'm the chair of Inland Empire Health Plan, which is the 7th largest healthcare system in the United States, and we're doing virtual doctor visits. Just a lot of fun things. So it makes it a lot easier for the United States' largest county for the residents to be able to access services.
It's going to represent the future. Going to represent the future. Okay, very good. Of course, I remember that even during the early days when you were with Chino Hill City, we were talking about your business concept, right? And also at the time that when we had the other interview, when you were at the California Assembly, you talk about the assembly members, assemblymen themselves, most of them have never cut a check during their life whatsoever. Now that you have experienced all the way from a city council to assembly and we back to a county supervisor, you must have accumulated a lot of concept. Your original concept must be enhanced, right? So what if we take a short moment and we come back to share with the audience about your concept, please?
Sounds great.
Good. Hello, lovely audiences. Welcome back to the show, Jack Chow with the JNE TV on the East West Show. Today, to my honor and my team, I have Honorable Kurt Hagman, former Assemblyman of California, currently the supervisor of the County of San Bernardino, talking about a beautiful county, talking about a beautiful airport, talking about the future of California. And of course, we are talking about the election day. He's running for re-election, which I have no doubt of winning. I just want to make sure that he wins big time. And well, altogether, we're just reviewing what the past years he has done to bring the sudden change, the big change. I call it a rapid change of beautiful San Bernardino, and the airport is right there. When I was driving, I hear the zing, the landing sound. Oh man, that's a beauty to it, right? Okay. Welcome back to you, sir, for the show. Talking about the fact that starting in the early days when you were at the Chino Hills, you were talking about including the land grass of the sheep versus the shepherd, right? So stuff, all the way to assembly, being the fact to deal with the people who are members of assembly yet have not cut a check to any employee during their life experiences. Now back to the county, that you put everything together, positive together, to make a change though. Does that or do that thing enhance your original concept of doing politics, what we call politics, in a business way?
It just solidifies it for me. The beauty about going to the state assembly for 6 years and coming back to the county was the contacts I made over the years. So I still have lots of friends in the state assembly and Senate, but also a lot of my colleagues are now Congress people. So 2/3 of the California Congress delegation are people I used to work with. So I have people at all levels of government that I maintain contact with and a good relationship with. So to fight for things we need for the county, I could know how to navigate the different layers of government to things to help us. For example, we talked about Ontario Airport last segment. We did not have a customs immigration staff at the airport because when we separated from Los Angeles, they took their staff with them. And first they said, no, we have no more people. We can't give you it, which would shut us down internationally. So I called a few of my friends in Congress and brought the chairman from Homeland Security out from Texas, and with their political influence, we're able to get our own staff. So we have to be able to navigate the different levels of government to work together in the correct way to make sure we have things happening for our residents all the time.
Does that form a concept that contacts sometimes? Knowing people is a big asset.
Oh, absolutely. I believe that in any industry we're in, whether that's government or private sector, relationships are very important to maintain and to work out the best you can. Doesn't mean that everyone's always agree, but you can have disagreements, but still work together well. The fact that government generally does not have a competitor. I don't have another county that's going to take me over if I do wrong. But C&E and EDI, if you guys lose your market share, someone else can take you over. So government's completely different. Private sector, that sometimes we lose our edge of how to be business minded. And it doesn't mean you have to make a profit necessarily as government, but you have to be efficient as government. You have to be able to
self-supporting.
Well, you have to redefine how you do. In business, if you don't redefine the way you do business over a period of time, you go out of business because someone else is going to do it better, smarter, faster than you are. But when there's no competition, sometimes we lose that edge. And so that's what my passion is to bring to government, is that ability to redefine how we do things, become better at it, more efficient at it, faster at it, and in results is hopefully get better services to the residents of our county. And we're doing that in all different departments that we can see. We're bringing those changes, and a lot of times people won't notice it at first, but all of a sudden that was a pleasant experience versus that was a very horrible experience. And that's what we're trying to distinguish. The building department now, you never have to set foot in a building. You can do everything from your desk at home. So if you're a developer or a small business, or even a homeowner who needs a permit signed off by a building department, you can do that online. We don't have to send somebody to you. You use your smartphone to show what you did, and we can sign off things digitally. And it's important for San Bernardino County because we're the largest county in the United States. We're bigger than 9 states, just our county size geographically. We're bigger than the country of Taiwan, for example, just in geographic size. But a lot of it's a lot of open space. So to send staff from San Bernardino to a 10-minute interview may take a whole day to do. So this way we're using virtual technology to be more efficient.
I remember last time we were talking about somebody wants to get their house inspected, right? Say in Victorville.
Yeah.
Right? You're talking about a one-day job, one full-day job, and you still doubt the job can be completed.
Yes.
Right? And the guy has to stay over there for another day, something like that, right? So that time when you were talking about the visual, how you call it?
Virtual.
Virtual. The virtual inspection online though. I was thinking about all that. That's only a thing, only a thought, only a concept. Right now, you put it in practice, even the core thing.
Yep.
That's really quite, I call it revolution.
Yeah, I believe we are. I believe government's going through an intellectual or a smart government is coming around. So it's really going to change everything we do. I could go through I have 49 departments, 25,000 employees of county staff. So there's a lot of systems to go through, and we're going through them little by little, trying things, working out the little things, and then deploying them. So we have it for our building department, we have our court system, we have our medical system. We're going to revolutionize the way 911 phone calls happen, so we get better care to people. So even our child protective services, we're going through all these different systems and embedding new ways to do that business.
So altogether, I know they are in practice, right? But how popular it is? Or are
Very. Not only for the residents, which is the most important thing, because now I can save on their fees, I can save on their time. If you're waiting at home, if you ever waited for a contractor at home, steam cleaner or whatever, and they say we're going to be here between 8 and 12, and they show up at 2 o'clock, the whole day is wasted.
The whole day is gone.
And so here you can say, I'm going to be here for 10 minutes. You can have the virtual inspection done, and you're done. So that way it's actually cheaper for them because I don't send an employee out there and back, but also their timing is better. So as we get these things out for those who have to interact with the county government, is hopefully we'll give them a better experience, a more defined time. They won't be frustrated standing in line somewhere, and they're able to get their business done quickly.
Take the court, for example. It saves the guy gasoline, right? Time. And of course, you're talking about pollution, right? And then the parking lot, right? To go there and face a judge. And then you need a courtroom at least, right? And then you have lots of people there. And they have to do the same thing to arrive there at the same time. Now with the virtual thing. So
Well, what we're doing is when California went through this budget crisis when I was in the Assembly, they cut at least 3 courts from San Bernardino County: Needles, Big Bear, and Chino. So the people who live in the high desert would have to drive 2 hours down to San Bernardino, sit in the courtroom, wait, and then maybe spend 10 minutes there and then drive back. The whole day is gone. Or worse yet, if you live up in Big Bear and it's winter and the roads are snowy, how do you even get to court? Because you have to go through the windy roads and icy, snowy weather to get there by 8 o'clock in the morning. So what we're doing is we're deploying, using the old facilities with no staff. We have a deputy and a clerk who live up in the area, go to these facilities, but the judge reports in from San Bernardino virtually. So all the residents go to the old courthouse, and the judge is there on the TV. And he holds court.
You kind of like sub houses.
Yep.
Sub houses, and the judge sitting here and stuff like A, B, C, D. They can.
Yeah. So one judge could carry 3 or 4 different courts now by going virtually to different areas. So it saves all that driving. It saves the safety aspect when it comes to like the mountain community.
Exactly.
And it's more efficient all the way around. So the California court system look at this and go, wow, we could maybe reduplicate this for other parts of the state. And that's what we're doing. We're really breaking ground on new ways to do business that other counties and other
Remember
states
the other
will
day when we were looking for a definition for your own thought, though, you give yourself a definition, think out of the box. So this still belongs to the definition of thinking out of the box.
Exactly.
Am I right?
Yes.
All right.
And we're trying to do that in many different ways.
Yeah. And also, if you enlarge it, though, there are many areas they can adopt the same thing.
Well, that's
they
what
can
we're doing.
follow the role model to do, well, the same kind of thing, to say that will save a lot of things,
Yes, we're
lots
doing
of efforts.
We're doing it on doctor visits. Like I said, IEHP, now if you have a smart device, you could make an appointment with a doctor, just talk to him on your smart device, never have to go to the doctor's office. Most of the time when you see your general practitioner, you tell them what's wrong. They ask you a few questions. They can look at things. We have apps now that could test your eyes without seeing an optometrist to look at and give you a prescription. We're bringing all that technology that it's not going to solve every issue that you're going to have to see someone personally. But again, to save that time into driving, we're working on a concept of smart ATM machines now that you could go to, push a button, talk to a clerk just like you would at an office, scan your paperwork, fill it out digitally online, pay your fee, whatever you need to do, and have these all over the place so you can access not only county government, but also your state and local governments all in one place without ever having to leave your neighborhood. So you don't have to drive, 2 hours to find the right building or something like that. So we're trying to push forward this technology in every aspect we do on the county level. And that's just one of the fun projects. There's lots of different fun projects I get to work on throughout the county.
Yeah, back then when we were talking about the concept only, well, I thought we were talking about something out of the blue. Now it is there. It is right there, solid. What's your next movie in this whole area, though?
Every
the
department.
area of virtually doing business.
Yeah, we're developing, it should be online next month, a virtual convention center. So, as you know, I'm very interested in international trade, and it's a lot of work to get ready for a delegation that comes out for a week. You've been part of those.
Yeah, I know that.
And you have to make all the arrangements
that
months
part
ahead,
takes, yeah.
bring all the people down, house them, feed them, do all this stuff. But in reality, you want to get people over here talking to people over here. And what better way to do it than virtually with the big modern, large TV screens, like sitting across the desk and just talking, and saves all that travel. So we're putting together some of those things we're gonna have a subject a month. It could be tourism, it could be manufacturing, it could be pharmaceuticals, whatever the case may be, and get the people who are interested in doing international business on my side of the world connected with people on the other side of the world that want to do business together, and let them talk.
Exactly.
And have all the technology to do that. It saves a lot of time, expense, and we get more business done that way. I have a list of about 35 different subjects right now that I want to do that it takes so long to build up that delegation for us to go visit. Not that visiting's not important, but at least you could get those connections made early. You can start working on preliminary things, so when the principals get together, you sign that deal. It's not a beginning, it's the end.
Exactly.
And so we're working on that in that department for economic development. We have it in basically every aspect of every part. Our homeless issue. We have a lot of transient homeless that come from Orange County, from Los Angeles County, the San Bernardino, Riverside. They go all over the place. We created a best practices so far of doing an assessment on that homeless person. What kind of services they need, who's their family members, what kind of medicines do they need, everything about that. But when they move from LA to San Bernardino, we got to start all over again. So we're doing software that will be able to track the homeless person. So if they do leave from one jurisdiction to the other, we already have that information. So we can just pick up where the other person left off to try to help them get back on their feet. So just pretty much everything we touch, you can enhance with connectivity and partnerships and technology.
It's like a system in the cloud that everybody's information is there, and then through that people get their problem taken care of or disease cured, stuff like that, right?
Correct.
Okay. My dear friend, my lovely audience, today I'm once again back into a class of a think tank, trying to be a think tank. What we thought of about several years ago now becoming a reality in San Bernardino with this great human being, my dear friend, Honorable Kurt Hagman, running for re-election. Like I said, I have no suspension. Let's take a very short moment now. When we come back, let's talk about why we have no suspension about winning. Only want him to win big time. So stay with us. We'll be right back. Hello, dear friend, my lovely audiences. Welcome back to the show, Jack Chow on the East West Show with GNG TV. Today, a big subject. The subject is so big that we get excited about, and the big subject is so near to us because we even feel the heat from it, right? So it's the San Bernardino County, which is the county we're next off. It's a beautiful county, and with the Ontario Airport into practice, the name of Ontario getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It's on the map already. So with the supervisor, Mr. Kurt Hagman of San Bernardino County, we're sharing his thoughts of his leadership, of his business development. And there's an only last area we haven't talking about. I mean, one of the last areas we haven't talked about was transportation, right? So what did you do, and what surprises what surprises do you have for me?
Yeah.
Or future, or another something in the blue?
Yes, very exciting at the forefront. We're on the verge of technology and transportation. Anybody who lives in Southern California knows traffic is horrible. So I've been tasked by the Trump administration. I'm the chair for Southern California transportation as well, to try to figure out a solution for all this. How do you get cargo from point A to point B? How do you get people from point A to point B? And I sit on a local, it's called Omnitrans, our bus system in San Bernardino County. I sit on that board. I sit on the larger boards for transportation. And we can't build more freeways. It's not going to happen. So we're looking at, with the technologies coming on with autonomous driving vehicles, or what's the best way to people get around? We see the decline of every bus system throughout the nation. We gain more in population, less people use this public transportation, and we're trying to figure out why is that. And from my thoughts and the reports I've seen is people don't like to have all the stops along the way. They like to go from point A to point B. And
A to B.
A to B, that's it. So we're getting presentation of technologies, and the first one I'd like to deploy at Ontario would be an overhead rail system, not like a monorail, but if you want to think about it, independent smart pods that can pick up either cargo or people. It's computerized. It goes on a top rail system at 85 miles per hour and delivers you to where you want to go. It gets brought back down to another station. And so with the amount of public traffic we have and cargo traffic within a mile radius of the Ontario Airport, that'd be probably the first system I want to deploy to show that it works, where you can either move a section of a cargo airplane on this rail system, from the airport to the warehouse, or people to go from our airport to the convention center or to hotels or to rent a car.
Exactly.
And you get in this nice little futuristic pod. It's on a base station. You call it in like you do Uber. You get in and you tell it where he wants to go. It goes up, waits for its time to get on the track, and it shoots on the track at a really high speed, and it gets you to where you want to go. It comes back off. So we're exploring the future of technology at different levels. So I don't like light rail. I think it's a 150-year-old technology, and it has all the stops in between.
The speed train?
And the high-speed train is, I think, not practical because we're too urbanized or too spread out.
And also zigzagging.
We need little things to move groups of 4 to 6 people, to move cargo from point A to point B in a very efficient way. When I look at what it take us to expand one lane on the 710 freeway on both sides, it's going to be 25 years and about $55 billion. And that's if everything goes well, which never goes well, just like the high-speed trail. So this is a way to use infrastructure we already have, that we don't need to go through all that process. We'll have it deployable within 5 years or less, and be able to start moving people around in the modern way to do it. Almost like flying cars, but it has a rail system.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, of course, I don't know how you can put it into practice. By so much as I know you, though, when you say
always
something,
get it done.
Yeah, you will get it done, right?
Yeah.
Get it done.
So
right?
I'll bring you out when we have our first prototype.
When I say it, I mean it. When I mean it, I want to get it done, right? Something like that. Okay.
Yeah.
So the virtual call court, for the court thing, I think it is only possible in my dream, but it's happening now.
We have 2 of them.
Okay, now my dear friends, we have Honorable Kurt Hageman sharing his thoughts of the past years, what he has been doing. San Bernardino County has turned a totally new look to the folks out there and to the rest of the world. So now, talking about re-election, though, how ready are you, and how is your campaign doing? I don't see a lot of advertising out there. So
we're fully, our campaign is fully involved. We did a really strong campaign. You never take an election for granted, but I'm very blessed this year. I had last time half the people for me, half people against me when it comes to groups and organizations where they spend a lot of money against you or a lot of money for you. This time, everybody's for me. From the far left to the far right, every organization's lined up behind me for re-election. So we felt confident. We have a couple more weeks to go, but we're ready to get in there. And if everything goes successful, I'm vice chair of the county now. In December, I'll be chairman for a couple of years of the county board of supervisors, and we're just looking forward to keep going with our progress. We're also working on a very first time ever in the United States smart system of commuting. So investing in cellular technology and other technologies to make the first fully evolved technology system for San Bernardino County. So we're going to start in my district first, the first of a kind in the state of California, and we're going to keep growing that as well. So we're going to become redefining who we are in San Bernardino County. We're not going to be warehouses and logistics anymore. We'll be that and much, much more. And we're bringing all the high-tech firms and companies in as well. So things are going well. I just want to hope to keep going
by
forward.
logic, you need time to do what you want to do, right? So you just can't say hit and run. So I'm here. I just warmed up. I just started to see things going, and then you're stepping down. You're not doing that.
No. We had. I had choices this year. I could have ran for Congress, could have ran for senator, California State Senate, and I was recruited heavily in both those positions. And I go, no, I'm having too much fun. We're getting too much done in San Bernardino County right now, and I want to continue on with the projects that we're seeing, and we're seeing the revolutionizing of our county right now. I'd like to be part of it.
That was the public was worried a little bit. I mean, until you announced you were running for re-election, though, they thought, but Mr. Kurt Hageman might run for Congress, right? Because there's a seat open there, and he's qualified, right? Or even California, say Senate, there. Now that is we feel comfortable about you continue to run
the county.
The county. That's better, at least finish that periodically what you plan to do.
Yes,
right?
yes. A lot
make
of
it happen. Make it happen. What you suppose. I plan to let it happen, though. So how sure are you about your support, your constituents, your endorsement, your your supporting groups?
We have every endorsement. There's not one endorsement against me. We have every group supporting me. There's not one against me. It's really up to the voters, though. So we're hopeful that our messaging to the voters have been strong, and that they'll give me their approval to continue on as their supervisor for another 4 years. And but as far as the support, I got 100% of it. So I'm very blessed to make everyone happy, which is hard to do as a politician, make everyone happy. But we made everyone happy the last 4 years, and they all backed my reelection. But it's up to the voters to go out and vote June 5th.
Very good, very good, very good. So how about last time, for example, the biggest headache when it turns out, though, the voting rate. The voting rate, even though we all love this beautiful flag of democracy, to the moment of exercising the right of democracy, there are always less people coming to practically do it, right? To practically do it. So how do you see the last status quo of people of your county about the voting rate, and how do you expect this time for this election, please?
Well, it is something we take for granted here in the United States. So the democracy part that we have, probably 1 out of 3 eligible voters are registered to vote. So start off at 30% of the population there. And then for a midterm election, which is considered June, the main election's in November. So midterm election like this, you'll probably get a third of those to actually turn out. So you're talking about 1 out of 10 people who can vote actually voting in June. And so we try to use our best guess who those people are and try to message to them the best way we can. But it is something we take for granted, which is sad. Everyone should be informed, hopefully, what all of your representatives are doing at all levels, when that's your school board, your city council, the state assembly or legislature. All those things get passed to know when that you think your person's doing good or bad, and go out and express your opinion, go out and vote. That's something that's very rare in the world, to be able to have that one-on-one voting power to go do that. And I hope that as many people can do it. We made it much easier. You can vote anytime now, between now and June 5th. Yeah. You can go in and vote anywhere. You can drop off your ballot in the mailbox. You could go walk in and make
the absentee ballot has started already, right?
Yes, they're already out.
No.
So we make it easy for people
very good.
to express their opinion, but we hope it works.
Very good. Okay, my dear friends, today we are talking about local election. And for this local election, as a matter of fact, we took only one segment talking about actually the local election. As a matter of fact, with the credit, with everything, what he has done for the previous segment, though, I don't have any doubt. I only want him win a big time. Right?
Thank you, Jack.
So your last 30 seconds of delivery and message?
No, I will be back sooner. So we can share all the fun things
very good.
More often with your listeners and your watchers, and we appreciate them being engaged and learning about what's going on in the region, because that's the most important. Very good. Just be informed.
And your website address, please?
KurtHagman.com.
KurtHagman.com.
Yep.
That's for the election website. Okay, very good. Okay, my dear friends, the screen has it, and there's where to go. And on the voting day, June the 5th, on a Tuesday, though, first thing in the morning, we wake up, walk on the street, or on the way to work, or whatsoever. You stop at the poll, exercise your right, please. All right? That's what you want to do. All right? Thank you very much for watching, and we give our credit, appreciation to Kurt Hagman. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you, Jack. Thanks for having me on again.
Kurt.